Well, to say I've had better sports weeks would kind of be an understatement. Um, the Texas Rangers down 2 games in the World Series, so and they've gotten whipped both times. Um, Got to come back to Arlington and hope we can get one. But it's hard to really. I can't. You can't. For me, as a Rangers fan, you can't be too hard on them because we've never been to the World Series. So, but we'll hope. I have good faith that the Rangers get back in this thing. The Cowboys, the Cowboys, and then of course the Texas Longhorns are coming off a loss against Iowa State at home. And so this, of course, is the game. Up tomorrow night is the game against Baylor, coming into Austin. They're the Baylor Bears last week beat Kansas State at home and are now bowl eligible for the first time I think over a decade. I'm not sure. It's been a while. And the fans in Baylor are pumping. What I got to say about Baylor and really just what Art Briles has done. Ever since Art Briles got there, there's been this anticipation in Waco to have a season like this. I got a lot of friends who go to Baylor, and all they've told me all the time, they just want to go to a bowl game. They just want a bowl game. And they've got it this year. And, when they brought in Robert Griffin, he's the one who gave them hope. And you saw how much of an asset he is. Well, everyone knows a starting quarterback, I have personal experience. A starting quarterback can make or break your season. And last season, Griffin got hurt early in the year, and Baylor, even with Zemansky in there, still fought hard, but they just didn't have the horses to get it done. This year, they're doing a good job, and they're dropping points on people all over the place. They're 6-2, and the Longhorns are 4-3, and they're ranked for the first time. And Baylor fans, I don't know when the last time you guys have been ranked. They're number 25. Texas is unranked, coming into Austin, and for some reason. And I'm not saying this like trying to do some false hope or trying to psych people out. I really don't know why Texas is favored in this game. I know it's a small margin, but really, I feel like if this game was in Waco, Texas would have a better chance of winning than it is here in Austin. Or at least they'd be favored because I really, I've said this, not to my buddy about this, when we're at the game. Right now, Austin is a very toxic atmosphere for this offense and this team, especially Garrett Gilbert. Fans here have been spoiled for so long that any kind of adversity, any kind of, the team not clicking, they start booing and they start hissing and all kinds of stuff when the game starts. I'm not a fan of Greg Davis. That being said, I don't sit there and call for getting fired all the time, because usually the guy who screams fire this, fire that. I actually heard on the radio. I'm not sure if it's confirmed or not, but there's been rumor that there will be a flyover, a plane with a banner, something about Greg Davis, probably something fire Greg Davis or something like that. I don't know the details. And even at the Oklahoma game, when we were walking around the state fair, right outside before we went to the stadium, I saw Longhorns fans, not a lot of them, but some of them, with little buttons and little stickers with Greg Davis and one of those circles with a line through it. For me, maybe I'm just naive, but I always feel like game day is not the time to do that. That game day is not the time to sit there and start talking about coaching changes, talking about quarterback changes, talking about this sucks and that sucks. Game day is the time to come support your team. That's just, maybe I'm just pie in the sky guy who just feels like everybody, I don't know. But I don't see how that helps, because guess what? The guys who are doing this, the guys talking, flying planes over and all that kind of stuff, they did that to Mac Brown early in his career at Texas. What has he done so far? I feel like guy who screams fire the coach, is the same guy every single year that there's struggles. Is a guy who never offers solutions. He just wants action. He wants change, but doesn't really know what to change to. That's my own little off the topic. But to get back on the game, I do think Texas can win tomorrow. And I'm confident Texas will win, and this is why. Because Texas this year has gotten up for big games and has not showed up for the smaller games, if you want to call it that, with UCLA and Iowa State. I know I, UCLA, there was an arrogance on the field. Guys were joking around, not really practicing, and the UCLA players saw that, knew they were going to win, play with the confidence, whip the dog out of Texas. Then Iowa State, same thing happened, same kind of offense they ran. Same thing happened. You come off a big win against Nebraska after a good effort against Oklahoma, and this team is not good enough to buy into their own hype. You saw what happened last week. This week playing against Baylor, you're playing there's no sleeping on Baylor. People outside the conference maybe don't know a whole lot about Baylor. Baylor has been a bad program for many, many years. But when they got Art Browse in, when they got Robert Griffin, people in the Big 12 has taken notice of them stepping up as a program and really making strides to make themselves relevant in the Big 12. And right now, by their record, they're number one in the Big 12 South. That may change later on in the year, but right now they are number one in the Big 12 South. And their defense isn't very good, but that's really not why I think Texas can win this game, because Iowa State was ranked 112th in the country in defense. UCLA is not that good at defense. So the rankings and stuff, you can throw that out. I just think the response from this Texas team, when they are challenged, when they are criticized all week for this season, you've seen what happened. Going into Texas Tech, people were worried, are they going to be able to beat Texas Tech? There was a lot of build for that. They showed up and won that game. But then they lose to UCLA because everyone thinks, oh, they're awesome. They pat on the back. So then they go into Oklahoma, against Oklahoma. They lost the game, but they fought hard, had a lot of chances to win that ball game. Nebraska, there's no way Texas can win this game. They're going to Lincoln. This is the revenge game, blah, blah, blah. Nebraska number 5. They go in, they win the ball game. Now they come back to Austin. Oh, it's the best team. Oh, you guys are great. You guys can still win the Big 12. Da, 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 da. And, Iowa State, it's an 11 o'clock game. No one's there. You get beat. So now this week, all you hear is Texas sucks. They don't know what they're doing. Baylor's coming in. They're hungry. I just, from a mindset point of view, and I've talked about this all year, that I think that's the main problem with this Texas team, other than maybe not as much talent as usual, that I think this mindset of this team will be on par for this week and be able to beat Baylor. You got to contain a running quarterback. We did that against Martinez in Nebraska. I do believe that Robert Griffin is way better than Martinez, because the thing about Robert Griffin is he's not just a running quarterback. If you watch this guy play, this dude's a true quarterback. I watched a lot of that Tech game. The dude can make plays with his arm. Texas Tech really took his legs away from him, but he kept his team in the ball game with his arm. So Robert Griffin's a smart guy. He runs the ball well, throws the ball well. He's the best quarterback on the field tomorrow. Okay, he's a great quarterback. I do think we'll be able to move the ball a little bit differently. Game plan wise, we need to open up downfield. Baylor's not that good in the secondary. I look for this to be a shootout. Possibly, though, we could pull this away with this, because I still think this Texas defense, as pitiful as they played last week, when this defense is inspired, this defense can get the job done. If you shut Robert Griffin down, you shut Baylor down, because though they've gotten good on all levels, they're still not really up to par everywhere, I think, to beat Texas, except for the quarterback. I think Robert Griffin is your X factor. But if you can take him out of the game, not hurt him, but I'm talking about neutralize him, I think Texas is the better team after that. That's going to be the challenge. So Baylor fans, and there's a lot of you guys come down from Waco for this game. I hope you enjoy yourself. This is their chance to beat Texas. They're coming in with a lot of confidence, with a great quarterback and their best team in a long time, against a Texas team that's reeling. Probably one of the worst Texas teams in a long time. So it looks like a collision course for Baylor to finally get a win in Austin. I'm going to stick by my team. I think the Longhorns get it done. They're going to need to get it done. If they lose this ball game, it's going to be in trouble. So hook 'em horns, Texas fight, and big game against Baylor. Never thought I'd be saying that. See you guys later. Hook 'em.